All right, everyone. So we have Randy here from Clark Associates. We are excited to have him joining us today to share a little bit about their organization. So we have some questions that we're going to go ahead and ask him, and he's going to give us some insight on Clark Associates and what it's like to work there. So Randy, why don't you just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and your role with Clark Associates?
Okay. This is actually second career for me with Clark Associates. I was for 35 years in public education. I was an elementary school principal. And I came on to Clark Associates at a time when they were growing very, very quickly. I took over we have a charitable foundation. So I took over the executive director's position of that. But then they asked me at the same time, since I had been in education, to start making connections with colleges for recruiting purposes. I've been with the company just about 5 years now, and they have literally tripled in size. They were 900 when I started in 2015, and now we're over 3,400 employees. So our connections with colleges was critical, and we're still growing. So primarily, I am helping to support nonprofit organizations through our charitable foundation, but my connection now with you guys is trying to make you more aware of the employment opportunities and the support that we can provide to students.
So I know Clark Associates has a lot of different components. Do you mind sharing with anyone viewing what Clark Associates is and the different aspects of your company or organization?
Sure. Yeah, it gets a little confusing because Clark Associates is the umbrella. It is a number of different companies under that. And what gets confusing are the names. We have basically three different ways of doing business, but all of our businesses support. One, the largest division is actually called Webstrut Store. It is a huge website that supplies for any organization that would provide food service or is involved with food service. So it could be a restaurant, it could be a bakery, it could be a school, it could be a prison or a hospital. Anyone could order from them all the supplies that they would need. On that website, we have over 300,000 items. So that's one division. We have another division that's actually cash and carry stores. We have 9 stores, basically in central Pennsylvania, although the plan is over the next few years to create another hub of stores down south, probably in Florida or North Carolina. And then the other third major division of our companies is called Clark Food Service Equipment. And that division is actually a group that designs and then helps facilitate the building of commercial kitchens and food service facilities. So actually at IUP, our Clark Food Service Equipment was the group that built your dining hall.
Oh yeah, North Dining Hall.
Yeah, that was a pretty significant build for us, but that's the kind of thing that our design team can do. So we have design people, architects, and then the project management people that actually see the project through. We have a number of other ancillary companies, but basically that's what we do.
Great, that's helpful. What do you find, or what do you think employees and interns like best about Clark Associates?
I think there are some fun kind of things that they like about us that are a little frilly, like a dog-friendly environment, and we have gyms that we've built at each of our facilities. Try to make schedules flexible enough that employees can kind of have a nice balance within their workday. But beyond that, I think the things that are most important and we realize in order to retain people, because we don't want people jumping around. This is a company that values their employees and they want them to find a home with us and stay and grow with us. So I think probably the other things that our employees are finding really valuable are the career paths that we're building. I'm finding a lot of young people, and actually of our 3,400 employees, the average age is only about 28 or 29, so it's a very young company.
Okay.
But they're building career paths. So you can come into the company and let's say you come in as a customer service or customer solutions representative with Webstruct Store, the e-commerce division. But then as you get to know the company, you realize, you know what, my real talents and desires are in CAD and designing and the software. So we've had people move into totally different directions and divisions of the company and find a path that suits them best. And I think that is something that, because of our size now, we can offer that some of the smaller companies are not able to offer. For example, also, if you came in as an accountant, but then realized, I have a really hard time sitting behind a computer all day long, because that's what accounting many times is. We've got lots of other things that people who are good with numbers and analytics could go in a totally different direction. So I think those are the kind of things, along with trying to keep a good work-life, home-life balance in place. We understand how important that is for employees. Then the other thing I think that is very attractive is the fact that we put a lot of responsibility on people, and the company values our employees' input. So we ask that everybody, no matter what position you're in, you take the initiative to come up with your own ideas that you can share, and that's how the company is continuing to grow and do really things that other companies aren't doing, because we value those new ideas, and we actually expect that we're going to make mistakes and we're going to grow from those. So I think those are some of the things that employees find most beneficial.
Yeah, I always love to hear about the work culture. It's very unique. I think you can't put a price tag on that. Not every organization lets you bring your dogs to work. So what do you think, I mean, and you touched upon this a little bit, but if there was anything that you maybe wanted to add makes Clark Associates, in your opinion, unique from other companies and organizations?
Well, one of the things that I have found coming from a culture of education that's very bureaucratic. It used to be that if we wanted to institute change within the Pennsylvania public school environment, it would take sometimes literally years to make changes. And with a company like this, it's a privately owned company. If they want to, if they see a need and a desire to make a change, they research it, they make a decision, and it could happen next week. They don't have to have months and months and years of planning and going through all of the red tape that other larger companies have to go through. So I think that's been something that is very attractive, and also the fact that they put young people in positions of responsibility very quickly once they demonstrate that they have the skills and the passion for doing something. We have young people in place that are now 25, 26 years old, only out of school a couple of years, running entire departments. A good example of that is with Webstruct Store, the e-commerce division. When I started, there was no security group. There was no fraud protection. Now the website has grown so that they probably have 12 people in that division. We didn't have a tax group. The websites didn't have to worry about taxes, but in the last 5 years, that's become very important. So now we have an entire team of people dealing with all of the tax issues from all around the world, not just in our country. So I think that's a bit unique too. And I'm finding that new employees, young people coming in, appreciate the fact that they don't have to necessarily wait for years and years and years to climb a ladder. that's already in place, and you have to start here and then you go here, and it takes 5 years to get to this level. If you come in and show that you have the skills and the passion to do something, they're gonna give you that responsibility and allow you to take it wherever it goes.
It's great. What is something that most people wouldn't know or would be surprised to learn about Clark Associates?
I think one of the things that surprises a lot of people is the fact that we don't do anything. We don't have third-party people come in to take care of things. The leadership group likes to have control of things. So if we need something done, we bring people in that are able to do that. And a perfect example of that is technology. We have probably almost now 150 developers that are supporting all of the programs that support the website and all of our businesses. We have Clark Associates isn't thought of generally as a tech company, and yet we have dumped a ton of money into technology in order to be a leader in the e-commerce division of this industry. And that has surprised a lot of people. So I would say, you could live in central Pennsylvania here and have jobs that you generally have to go out to Silicon Valley to find. We're also creating a new center for that down in Tampa, Florida. So if we have young people they've had enough of Pennsylvania, they want to go down to Tampa, we got a place for you. We have actually facilities now in 10 different states. So we're really moving and growing.
That's exciting. So what do you think, or what is something that you look for if you're reviewing a candidate's resume or cover letter?
I personally am not involved with hiring, but I have communicated with all of our hiring managers. We don't have a centralized human resource department.
Okay.
So we have set up a system, an online application management system that sends every specific job to the hiring manager who's going to be hiring for that job. And without exception, all of those people, and we're talking now about literally dozens and dozens and dozens of people, all of them are going to be looking for character and something that sets them apart from all of the other literally tens of thousands of applications that come in. We're going to be looking for those people who have worked and have experience working. They're going to be looking for things like, have you volunteered? Have you been involved in school? And if you have, what are those activities that you've been involved with? Because we want well-rounded people. We want people that are not just smart, but they care about other people. So we value the volunteer work you've done. We value the other kinds of work experiences that you've had, because that shows that you are a hard worker. Mm-hmm. If we get a resume that has no work experience on it, we're going to really question why. How have you gotten this far if you had no work experience? Have things just been given to you? So those are the kind of things. I hope I'm answering your question, Kelsey.
Yep.
But we're looking for like even in school, high school and college. Were you involved with the band? And if you were, did you have a leadership role? Were you involved in clubs? We find that any of the sports teams are great experiences because you work as a team. And we find now that communication and working as a team member is critical to any position that we have.
Yeah, no, we talk to students all the time about those other experiences and the transferable skills that they gain that they can then take with them to future positions. So volunteer work, clubs and organizations, athletics. So I think you make a really good point there with students and making sure that they share that and that they're looking for some of those things when reviewing applications. What opportunities are available for alumni, soon-to-be alumni, and current students with Clark Associates? If you don't mind talking a little bit about that.
Sure. Um, well, there are a lot because of the number of different divisions of the company that we have. We actually hire from all majors. Literally, the only areas that we don't have jobs for are in the healthcare. I mean, because we don't have nurses and doctors working for us. But we have skilled trades. We've got all of those. Like, for example, Gene Clark, who is now CEO, just turned 35, I believe, took over CEO position from his father, Fred Clark. He was actually in business at Franklin Marshall College here in Lancaster, but his passion was music. He is an incredibly accomplished trumpet player. You know what, Kelsey, ask me that question again, because I got myself sidetracked here, and I want to come back to this and make sure that I'm answering it completely correct.
No problem. Just to talk a little bit about opportunities for current students as well as alumni.
Okay. All right. So my point that I was trying to make before I got myself old age here kicking in. We have all kinds of opportunities, and those opportunities come in all different directions. The point I was trying to make was Gene wanted to be a musician, but realized that this was going to be his way of making a living, and then his passion would be something on the other end.
Yeah.
But on our website, we probably have now 150 to 200 jobs posted. We have all of them with specific job descriptions so that you can go on and just kind of browse. But honestly, the answer is we don't care what degree you have or what program, what major. We're looking at what you bring to us, what you bring to the table as far as skills and abilities and passion and work ethic. So kind of the sky's the limit. And if you're even though we're in the food service industry, if you were you wouldn't think of this maybe, but a language major, lots of positions where that is an incredible advantage. I was just talking to someone yesterday who is in our procurement department, and he had a passion for Mandarin, the language, the Chinese language, Mandarin. And so he became proficient. He now, because we do so much importing from China, he's a critical person for us in our procurement department. He's been able to pull together his language skills and his business, and it's a perfect fit for what he's doing. Again, lots of different companies within our company, lots of different opportunities, some people related, some numbers related. There's kind of the sky's the limit. You just need to give us an opportunity to show you. And I would go on the
definitely
site and just kind of take a look at all that.
Great. Yeah, that's awesome. What is one thing, Randy, then that you would want to leave students with? One piece of professional advice or one piece of information about Clark Associates that we might not have touched upon?
I would, as far as advice, I would say for students, network, talk to as many people as you can, never overlook an opportunity to connect with somebody, because we're finding that's the way our employees find work. They've connected with someone, and you just never know where that's going to be or what it's going to lead to. But don't ever underestimate the importance of talking with people and sharing and knowing yourself well enough to know what it is that you want or you think you want, but then be open to other things that you may not even be aware that could lead you to a career. So I would suggest also that they not pigeonhole themselves, not kind of, okay, well, I'm an accounting major, so those are the only jobs that I need to go to. If you go to our website and you look at all of our career opportunities and you just go to the accounting section, you really limit yourself because as an accounting major, as a business mission major, categories of careers that we've got listed on that career page, and do really well with those. So don't limit yourself, and don't limit yourself to a specific kind of company either. Um, Ours, for example, is, we're in the food service industry. Maybe people think food service, I'm not related to food service. I don't have any experience in that. But they find that it's not the food service. It's all that they do to support the food service industry. And they come and they love the people they work with. They love the environment. They grow to appreciate the fact that the food service industry is an incredibly important and growing business. So I would just, again, come back to that networking, and don't close yourself in. Be open and talk to lots of people, and also be confident. Know yourself and be confident.
That's great. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with us, Randy. We certainly appreciate it. And we will be sure to share Clark Associates website and some resources with any students that are interested in learning more, and hopefully have you all back on campus this fall for our Career Ready seminar series when we're able to be in person again.
That's great. Well, thank you for sharing. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.